but I think I've gotten everybody who I can give that to. We'll start with Jeremy, then Marley, Scott Ritchie, Derek Piper, in that order. Derek, we're ready when you are. All right, congratulations, IO, on the championship, and then also tournament MVP honors. We're going to go ahead and open it to questions for the media that are on the call. We'll start with Jeremy Werner, then go to Marley, and then Scott Ritchie. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey, Io, congratulations. There was this kind of surreal moment as you're on top of the ladder cutting a net and you see the #1 seed on the big screen. Take me into what the emotions were like and how those two separate things kind of came together at that one.
Oh, man, it was crazy. I'm feeling, an unreal feeling just sitting here thinking about like all the things we accomplished. And knowing when I came on my visit, how, I talked to Coach Underwood and I told him like, these are things that we can accomplish here. And, it's been ups and downs, definitely, but that's a part of the process. So to, just be on top of that ladder, cutting the net down and see the #1 seed there, man, like it was just an unreal feeling.
Thanks, Al.
I know this has been a tough year for you guys on so many levels with just the adversity that you handled and COVID and not being able to see your families. I mean, how much does this moment right now make it all worth it?
Oh man, it's crazy, to really, understand and really be in reality that, dang, we just won a Big Ten tournament championship. And, we believe we won the regular season also. So just sitting here knowing that, we didn't see our families. We've been just with each other the last 4 to 5 months. We put it all on the line. We sacrificed it all to be here and then to come out on top. Man, it's just crazy. Like I'm in a different feeling right now. It's just crazy.
Thank you. Congrats.
Okay, Scott Ritchie, you're up. Derek Piper on deck. Go ahead, Scott.
Obviously that game, it got much closer than it started. Just to win one like that to kind of cap this whole first part of the year before the NCAA tournament. What does that mean? Where you guys found another way to win? Again,
what did you say?
So what did it mean to find a way to win again? Against Ohio State in a game that got so tight down to the wire. Just kind of cap this part of the season.
Oh, I think I will. I will. That's all it's about. We play somebody 3 times and we play somebody within a week span. Really, the plays, it's out the window. It comes down to executing. They knew everything we was going to run. They knew all of our, our unique plays. We just played them. And then well-coached team. We knew everything they was running also. So it really just came down to who's going to make the most plays and who's going to grab the loose balls and the 50-50 balls. And we did down the stretch.
All right, we'll go to Derek Piper and then Brandon Simberg. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Io, in that moment, what moments run through your head as you kind of reflect on what's got you here? Is there anything that stands out along the journey that was really in your mind after you had won and maybe even up there on that ladder?
What really hits me is, remembering the days where we weren't good. The days where, I would see people on Twitter, talk about how we weren't good and talk about Coach Underwood and, you just see people say certain things and then you can bring it DB to get this right here, like I got it. This what it all means. We put all the work in to, grab this trophy right here. Through my mind, I was just thinking of all the people that doubted us. And I also think about all of the true fans who've been there supporting us through it all. So to be able to really know that like we earned this, like this is ours, it feels good.
Thanks, Al.
Okay, Brandon Simberg, you're up.
Io, I want to hear your thoughts on that Georgie stretch today where he was getting bucket after bucket. What'd you kind of see from him and how key was that?
Oh, he played well. I always love to see, guys like that, come in and produce, because the last 2 games he really wasn't playing. But guess what? He did his thing in a championship game. So no one cares about the first 2 games. Everybody will remember how he played in the championship game. So for him to just be over there on the bench, waiting for his moment, coming in and, seizing a moment and being so great in that moment, man, my hats go off to him.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Robert Rosenthal, and then Anthony, Gavin Good, and then we'll go to Puerto Rico. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I just want to kind of go back to the moment after what happened at Michigan State and what this team was facing and the schedule and everything. You guys turn around, you beat, I'll just read you the rankings in the net rankings. You beat number 38, number 26, you beat number 8 twice, you beat number 6, and you beat number 4. Tell me about that stretch of destruction.
Man, it's 1 game at a time. We really wasn't looking back. At that time, after that game, we weren't looking at it as like, yo, we got 6, 7 top teams. We're looking at taking it 1 game at a time, because we kind of figured that, no matter what, after that Michigan State game, we figured that the Big Ten was going to allow us to get a piece of that regular season title. So, but we wasn't certain. But I kind of knew that how it was going to play out. So we just told ourselves, take it 1 game at a time, 1 half at a time, 1 game at a time. Just keep winning, and then hopefully at the end of the season, the right decision to be made. It wasn't made, and then we're all we're grown men, so we just we understood that it was what it was, and then we try to come out here and get this one.
Thanks.
Okay, Anthony, Gavin, and then Puerto Rico. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, Io, you came into this week and mentioned that this Big Ten tournament was the biggest goal right now. How does it feel to check that box off and move on to the next one?
It feels great, definitely. It's something that it's something to be proud of, and definitely something that you can enjoy. We know that we have bigger goals and aspirations, but in order to get to those bigger goals and aspirations, we have to accomplish this one first. And if you look at my video when I decided to come back here, I said Big Ten championship. So this is a tremendous accomplishment for myself, not just for my teammates, but for myself also, because 4 or 5 months ago, I sat down, I told myself, when I come back, we have a good enough coaching staff, good enough players, great managers. I definitely want to give a shout out to the managers, because without them, none of this would be possible, either coming in, rebounding for me, doing all the little things. And like I said, so to really accomplish a goal that you made, a long time ago, that's definitely great.
Okay, Gavin, and then Puerto Rico, and then Corey, and then Shan Ryan. Go ahead, Gavin.
I know your family was here to watch you guys in this tournament. I know that you're really close with them. What do you imagine that your first conversation with them is going to be like about this?
Oh, this is something that's going to go on forever. They're going to just be proud of me. They invested so much time into me also. My uncles, my mom, my dad, cousins, my brothers, sisters, they invested so much time in my craft. They invested so much time in myself to help all of this become possible. So they're my number one supporters. I know they're having a blast right now. They probably go enjoy themselves, have a game night or something like that. But yeah, I know they're gonna be proud of me. So the first thing they're gonna say is congratulations, and just be there for me.
When you guys were cutting down the nets, I was watching Brad, and he was just kind of walking around and looking around and taking it all in. What do you think this means to him?
Oh my God, what does it mean to him? One thing y'all probably know about Coach Underwood is he's one of the most competitive people I ever met. Definitely, hands down. When it comes to winning, when it comes to wanting to get it done, he has that, he just has that knack for just wanting. You just want to go out there and just play as hard as you can for him, run through a wall for him. So, Coach Underwood coming in, taking the Illinois program when it wasn't at its best, it's been ups and downs, definitely. He had some times where, people doubted him, like always. Any great person, anything, they always go through times where people doubt them, but he stayed with the course. He recruited a lot of great guys. He recruited a lot of winners. So I know he's feeling great because people doubted him. They said that he couldn't get it done, or they said that this and that, and he came out here and he proved it.
Okay, we'll go to Puerto Rico, and then we'll come back. Go ahead.
Ayo, congratulations on the big win and being an MVP. Talk to me about, you've been carrying this team offensively all year, but talk to me about the defense that you decided to play on Washington. I mean, this play was really hard, and is that something you asked the coach to have that personal war against him?
He had a tough shot, like a real tough three, and I said, I got him. That's one thing I love about Coach Underwood. He allowed me to accept the challenge. He just said, all right, you got him. He was in a good rhythm. When certain offensive players, with that talent offensively, when they get in a rhythm, sometimes you just throwing the ball up at the rim and it's going to go in. So my kudos go off to Washington. He's a good friend of mine, going back to battles through AAU. And but to answer your question, I just told Coach Underwood, let me guard, let me put some length on him. If he makes a tough one, I can live with that. But I want to be the one on him. I want to be the one. If he was to, win a game for them, I wanted to, be on me.
Okay. All right. We'll go to Corey, WQAD, then Shannon, Mark Pearson. Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, Io. 2005, last time Illinois was a #1 seed. 1989, they were a 1 seed. A lot of expectations out of those teams, and they delivered. This team with the 1 seed, talk about the expectations and how you plan on delivering this time around.
No, we're going to take it one game at a time. That's all we can do. Our coaching staff is going to do a great job to, prepare for Drexel. And then that's all we can do. It's win to go home. We really can't look ahead or look at, any other rounds. All we can do is focus in on our first opponent. So we're going to do that. Tomorrow we're going to get some rest, and then we're going to come back Wednesday and Thursday and just try to prepare for our first game. And then after that, prepare for the next game. But really, our main focus is on our first game.
All right, Shannon Ryan, you're up. Mark Pearson on deck.
Yeah, I was just wondering 2 things. But first, if you and Kofi get most of the attention on the team, and it seems like today there were so many contributors. I'm just wondering if that kind of typifies the team in your eyes.
Yes, it's great. I told you guys at Ohio State. When you guys asked me how did I feel about my teammates contributing the 3 games I was out, I told you that I was thrilled. If you look at any great player, any great team, you cannot win with 1 player. Nobody has done it. Michael Jordan has Scottie Pippen. Kobe Bryant had Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, Ron Artest. LeBron had Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving. So when you get to the point where you're playing a championship game, you always need the other players to contribute and play with confidence and play freely. And that's how you win. So, for our guys to, Georgie, great. Bello was great. DeMonte was great. For them to play well, it takes pressure off myself. It takes pressure off Kofi, and ultimately makes our team more dangerous.
And then I'm just wondering, again, when you're on the top of that ladder, and obviously that's where you want to be again, doing that same exact thing on April 5th. Just if that symbolism struck you a bit, and just is there a comfort level in having already been in Indy, having played there?
Oh yeah, it felt good, but I want more. It's something that I'm definitely going to soak in. It's something that I'm definitely proud of, because this is an accomplishment we made when the season first started. But we have bigger goals, and it's much more to accomplish. So we want more. I want more, but this is good for now.
I think that was my point. Like on April 5th is your goal. I'm just wondering that symbolism of getting back up on the ladder under that same hoop.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's a goal to, raise another banner. So definitely, we definitely want to get back here. We got to take it 1 game at a time. I think we'll be fine.
Hey, Mark Pearson, and then Joey Wagner, and then Mike Berman. Go ahead, Mark.
I want to take it back, Io, to last overtime period in this Ohio State game. Obviously, y'all are pretty tired. Rutgers, Iowa, Ohio State, back to back. I mean, what was the feeling like in the legs? Because a lot of guys had hands on knees, and were you guys tired? And how much did adrenaline kind of kick in at that point?
I would say I was my body was tired, but I tried to control it with my mind. So I tried to tell myself I'm good, and definitely, we have a minute left, overtime for the Big Ten championship, 2 teams battling. There's no time to tell yourself you're tired. So I told myself, I'm good, fight through it. This is the time where you push through. This is the time where all the work you put in comes and shows. So I'm pretty sure I was tired, but I try to just control my mind and tell myself like it's not time to be tired.
One more quick one. Georgie Bashanishvili fouled out, but was loud on the bench. Did you guys hear him, obviously, on the sideline there? And how much did that energize you guys when, obviously, the final moments were happening?
I definitely heard him. It was great. He was great off the bench. His energy was great, and it's contagious. When you're on the bench cheering for your teammates, genuinely happy for them, when you get in the game, the ball finds you. That's how it works. So I was proud of him today.
Okay, we'll go Joey Wagner and then Mike Berman. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, obviously Georgie had that pretty big stretch there, 10 straight points. Trent Frazier had 5 straight at the end of regulation. DeMonte had big plays. What's it say about this team that the veterans who have, really kind of built this thing up along with you had such big moments in this game?
It was great. It just shows that we all want to win. It shows that we all, strive to bring this trophy back to Champaign. And everyone has their moments. Everyone was ready. Everyone was locked in. And it feels good when you contributed on a championship team. It feels good. So I'm proud of each of one of them that you named.
Thanks, Io.
Okay, Mike Berman, and then we've got to follow up with Robert Rosenthal. And that may wrap it up. Go ahead.
Io, congrats, man. As a Chicago guy, you're somewhat familiar with Loyola. What stands out about what Porter's been able to do with that program, and what would the opportunity mean? What do you think that atmosphere would be like for Chicago basketball fans if you guys met them in the second round?
Oh, my bad. You said Loyola. I mean, they've been having a great season, so kudos to them. But I'm really enjoying this Big Ten championship, and then Drexel, and whoever we see after that, it'd be great. But shout out to Loyola. That's my city, Chicago. So they've been great. I'm happy they made the tournament. But besides that, I'm really not focused on that. I'm just really focused on embracing this. First time since 2005, and then getting my mind ready for Drexel. That's our next opponent.
Okay, we'll go Robert Rosenthal, and then with a follow-up and a quick question by Matt Stevens, and then I'll be finished for Io. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I just want to go back to your unfinished business quote you've used for a couple of years now. Where do we stand on that scale of unfinished business?
Oh, man, where we stand. NCAA tournament's time to start. Now it's time to make history. It's time to dig deeper. It's time to, focus in a little bit more. But it was great. This Big Ten championship, this is great. This is a great accomplishment. I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't. Really to have this right here, hear my teammates cheering in the locker room, it's great. It's no other group of guys that I want to do this with.
Thanks.
Okay, and then Matt Stevens, that'll finish up with Io. Go ahead, Matt.
Io, there was that and one with DeMonte where TV cameras saw you bear hug him before he went to the foul line. Just how much of a love have you had for him, and how key has it been over this last, I would say, year and a half for his teammates to be able to, keep him up and keep him motivated and keep him confident when there's been a lot of, when he does a lot of things that don't show up.
I mean, we tell him that all the time. What you're doing is what you're doing that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. We appreciate it. And I told DeMonte, you're going to help us win this game. I always tell him that. It always comes through. So to see him go out there and compete, see him go out there and play as hard as he can, I was just very proud of him. I love him for that. And we trying to go out there and get some more hardware.
All right. Thank you, Io. Congratulations. I think Derek's got Kofi and Georgie. We'll try them together. And so hopefully he'll be patient and we'll have to move the computer camera back and forth between the two, but try a double team here with
It's your trophy.
guys.
It's your trophy. Okay, come on in, guys.
Doing it at the same
Yeah,
time?
yeah, you just turn the camera or turn the computer back and forth. Get us. Keep us moving. Huh?
All right, we'll start with, when we get settled, we start with Jeremy with Brandon Simberg on deck and Derek Piper in the hole.
Just you two just rotate it back and forth.
All right,
On
Kofi.
the block.
Congratulations to you two. Go ahead, Jeremy, with your opening question.
Hey, congratulations, guys. I'm just wondering, you had that moment where you're cutting down the nets, but also the 1 seed goes up. Just for both of you, what were the emotions? What were you thinking of as that was happening?
I don't even know how to explain it, man. It was just a great feeling, you know, going out there, you know, that was our goal from the beginning of the year, you know, come out here and compete at a high level and win that Big Ten championship. And just being able to be there, it was a surreal feeling for me, just being there in the moment and cutting down the net. You know, I always see it happen, but I never really had the chance to do it because last year it was stripped away from us, but it's just an incredible feeling.
Okay, Brandon Simberg, Derek Piper. Go ahead, Brandon.
Georgia, you had a nice little stretch there in the second half, and you played with some emotion. What was that kind of like, you know, making those buckets and hearing the fan support behind you?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Amazing, man. It was so great. I can't explain it. It was so great. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was amazing. Amazing. I mean, it was so amazing that it was amazing, you know? It was great. Amazing. Man.
All right, somebody will have to count the amazings in that answer because that was an amazing answer. Derek Piper, you're up. Scott Ritchie on deck. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Georgie, towards the end, I saw you walking around the court, and as Jerry mentioned, the selection show's going on. You got a piece of the net in your hand. What's going through your mind at that point as you're kind of reflecting or just living in that moment?
I was trying to collect the whole moment within me. You know, I was trying to really absorb everything and really just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Just enjoy it, and at the same time see all these people who I've been with since such a long time, every single day working, and see them also from all the angles, see them so happy, just brings me so much joy. And I was just trying to absorb that, and that was amazing. It was amazing. It was so amazing. It was amazing. You know, it was amazing. Wasn't it amazing, Kofi? Amazing. Wasn't it amazing? Amazing. Oh my God.
I think
real quick, Kofi, just what's it like for you two to be able to do this together? I mean, you guys have a close bond for you both to make big plays and to reach this moment. What's that like?
I mean, amazing. I mean, I think it's amazing. if you know me and Georgia, you know that we love each other, and the extent of our love is apartment 402. It's limitless. Like, you know, we're always together. We enjoy being together. You know, he brings me so much joy, so much happiness with this his energy and how his approach and how his whole like personality. So, you know, just being able to share this moment with him, you know, after being with him for such a long time and building that bond, it's an amazing feeling, you know, just to see that smile on his face. It was amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Just to see that smile on his face, you know, after all that hard work that we did, you know, all that battles, all them, you know, all them tough times, you know, it finally paid off. Amazing times too. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Scott Ritchie, Gavin Good on deck. Go ahead, Scott.
And so, Kofi, I mean, you go to the bench, you know, I think after picking up your third foul, and then Georgie just kind of takes over in that moment. What did that mean to you to kind of watch him, you know, fill that void and keep your team fighting?
Honestly, when he went in the game, I expected nothing less. You know, I practice with this guy every single day, and I don't know what he's capable of. I know how much he's the best big man in college basketball. He's the best big man. No joking. Like, I've seen what he's capable of doing. His touch is tremendous, and just his composure, the way he finished around the rim. Like, I know what he's capable of, and I know that when he went in, I had no worries. You know, he was going to pick me up. He was going to do what he had to do.
And George, I feel I know the answer to this, but you know, Kofi was excited maybe more than anybody for that run you made. What does that maybe mean to you? Apartment 402, baby.
That's where it goes down.
402 at the Atlanta Inn. Him and we live together. We are together every single day. We have so many joyful moments off the court.
And when we see each other on the court being successful, come on, man. It's just such an amazing feeling. I mean,
amazing.
Ain't it amazing? Amazing. It was just amazing feeling. And we have those amazing feelings at the apartment 402. And amazing feelings, you know, we go get some amazing food together.
I'm so happy right now, man. I'm so happy.
Just amazing to have somebody like him beside me.
All right, Gavin Good, Robin Rosenthal on deck. Go ahead, Gavin.
Kofi, it's been such a long journey for you to get to this point. I know it's probably pretty surreal right now, but what do you think your family's thinking in this moment?
My family, they're all happy for me right now. I spoke to a few of them just now before I came in here. I could have seen it in their face, you know, most of them were crying and so happy for me. And like, I know I won't mention this a lot, but I came to the US in 2015. I never saw my dad after I came here. So like, you know, he's been with me the whole time. You know, I've been doing this for him the whole time, even though I don't say it. And like just before the game today, I put it in my head, I said, you know what, this is what I worked hard for, this is what I worked hard for. Like, I'm gonna do this for you, Pops. And like, you know, I just dedicate this game to him. I just dedicate the whole season to him because like, he believed in me when nobody did. You know, he was there for me. He's like a brother to me. And you know, just to know that he's always there with me, and I want to make him proud. You know, I want him to be watching me and be proud of me. So my whole family, they're really happy for me, and I'm just so happy I could make them so proud.
And then Georgie, I know it's been really tough for you during this past year, not being able to see your family too. I'm sure they're really happy right now. What do you think they're doing?
My mom actually can't go to sleep right now. She can't go to sleep. I was just on the phone with her. She's all pumped up, amped up. I'm not gonna say how much she had to drink, but you know, she just really, really amped up, really, really happy, celebrating with my brother at home. Diverse liquids make you really happy as well as your son's success. And you know, she's just so happy. And she's amazing. I love her. Shout out my mom, shout out my grandparents, shout out my grandma, my grandpa. Лид, я знаю, ты это интервью смотришь, я тебя целую, обнимаю, аму. Залиан, маграт миყვარხარ, лаль, я тебя целую, обнимаю. Давид, კოცნიდა მიყვარხარ, ჩემი ძმა. Я вас всех люблю, целую, обнимаю. No, nobody cut this out this interview.
Okay, all right, we'll move on. Robert Rosenthal, and then we'll go to Joey. Go ahead, Robert.
Georgie, without using the word amazing, tell me how you felt with the crowd going crazy after your 2 straight and ones. Maybe the loudest moment.
Ain't we in the United States?
It's probably hard for me not to say amazing right now. It's probably really hard.
I mean, I'm just speechless right now because all I think about how amazing I feel and how amazing all this feels, and it was an amazing feeling in the game, and I'm speechless. You know, all I know that my feelings and the feelings here, it's just amazing.
All right, Joey Wagner, Charles Culpepper on deck. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, this is for both of you, I guess. Kofi, if you could start, how do you two bring out the best in one another? What are ways that you're able to get the best out of him and he is of you on the basketball court in your everyday life? I think it's just a mindset, you know. I feel like we both know how much we love each other and how much we don't mean any harm to each other. We want the best for each other, and like just knowing that feeling, it's like I can't tell him anything wrong and he can't tell me anything wrong. You know, everything that we tell each other is for the best, and we are so emotional. You know, we're both international players and we've both been through the same journey. You know, and like it's just trusting each other, knowing that we'll be there for each other no matter what happens. It's just the love that we have for each other. Like that love carries over to whatever we do in life, and like we just trust each other ultimately, and that's how it is.
I just want to back him up or whatever he said. You know, we have so many conversations, even at our apartment at 402 at Illini Inn. And we have so many conversations there, even about our families, our journeys. You know, he's telling me a lot about his country, his family, his culture, and I'm doing the same thing. And in practice, we go at each other, and sometimes, you know, we have almost fought a couple of times, but we know we're not gonna hit each other. You know, it's all competing, it's all making each other better, and we are here right now, Big Ten champions, right here.
Champion. if I could real quickly, one more. Kofi, you have your 3 fouls on the bench. You see Georgie roll off 10 straight points. Can you take me inside your head? I mean, you were up shouting, really excited for him. What was that like watching him have that moment?
It was amazing. Like Georgie just said, you just see, like when that happens, you just see how much winning means to him. To be able to come in the game and not he haven't played that many minutes. Georgie started here his freshman year, and he was really successful scoring the basketball and playing a lot of minutes. And him being locked into the game, mentally focused, and just being able to come in the game and have that huge impact. Play that great role that he played. He kept us on our feet. He kept us in the game, and just seeing him do that, it was really. I was a really proud brother. Like just watching him do that.
Thank you, guys.
Charles Culpepper, and then Matt Stevens. Go ahead, Charles.
Hi. We always talk about sports as the great connector of the world, the best connector. And if you think about where the two of you started off in life, and now here you have this friendship in a third faraway place, I wonder if you, that's amazing. I wonder if you.
What is it? What is it?
It's amazing.
What is it?
I wonder if you think about that thing about sports that we say, how you're an emblem of that, and so is your team as a whole, given all the places you're from.
Like sports is a connector, like you said just now. It's like sports brings people together because when you have a love for a certain sport, you dedicate most of your life to that sport, and the sport becomes a part of you. And when you share that sport with somebody else that has that same feeling about it, it's like it's an automatic connection that's created right there. And like Georgie loves basketball and I love basketball. We dedicated a whole lot of time, into this, a whole lot of work, sweat, and blood. And it's just about being connected when we play the sport, knowing that we play the sport that we love and we love each other because we both have the same goals in mind. It's just that definitely creates a bond for me.
Okay, before we go to Matt Stevens, Georgie, we do have a question. What was the language that you spoke in when you gave that long, amazing answer?
I definitely want that in my interview because my grandma and my grandpa do not speak English, but they watch every interview and they just watch it and they don't understand it. But I spoke in Georgian and I spoke in Russian. And I want to make sure that all you guys include that part in your interview because when my grandma and my grandpa watch it on YouTube or whatever it is, it's in Georgian, it's in Russian. They do not know any word of English. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. And I know they will be super happy when they hear it. And I love them.
What did you say?
I just told them I love them. I'm proud of them. And yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Georgie, how do you say amazing in Georgian?
Amazing?
In Georgian, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm thrown off right now. I'm thrown off. Sastauli. Sastauli. Sastauli.
So we don't gonna say amazing. So we won't say amazing anymore. We say
Sastauli. Sastauli.
Sastauli. Matt Stevens, and then we'll follow up with Rob McCauley. Go ahead, Matt.
Georgie, Illinois had 41 points off the bench today. So that's you, that's DeMonte, that's Andre Carbello. That's three guys that, you and DeMonte have started games. Andre could start at a bunch of different places as a freshman. What do you think has led to that type of chemistry and maturity and just to be able to check your ego at the door and be able to come off the bench for this team? Because I know that's been a process and that's been something that you guys have kind of gone through this entire year.
I mean, just overall, it's just been such an amazing journey. It's been amazing from day one. So we created an amazing brotherhood with these guys, DeMonte, Andres, everybody. It's just amazing brotherhood and amazing team that we have. And with an amazing brotherhood, you achieve amazing things and you become Big Ten champ and you just feel amazing,
All right, Rob McCauley, and then we'll wrap up with Robert Rosenthal. Go ahead, Rob.
No, Rob.
Georgie, I'll say hi to Lolly and David as well. I'm curious, how is it that they see these games? Because, different apps, different networks. Is it a computer thing?
It's definitely a computer set. It's a computer thing. Definitely, they stream it online. It might be illegal, but that's okay. And they just stream it. There's different sites that you can stream games on, and you might not pay for them, but you still can stream them. So.
And same question for Kofi. Can your family see all the games?
Yeah, they stream it online. It might not.
Don't give away all your secrets, your family secrets.
And
on
the
that.
internet is streaming online, the internet is
Nobody gonna touch him.
the internet is global, and like when you have a game like this, especially in the Big Ten, every game in the Big Ten is publicized really well, and there's a lot of stations and a lot of channels that you can see them on. So my brother definitely take the time out to find the channels and share them to my other family, my cousins, and my other friends. So they definitely find a way to watch it.
Actually,
thanks,
Rob,
guys.
the games on CBS were on their app, and it is free and open. You don't have to pay a subscription for the CBS games.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up with Robert Rosenthal. Go ahead, Robert.
Georgie, using only one word, describe how you felt when the fans started the Georgie.
Amazing! Let's go, Big Ten champs, baby.
All right, thank
go.
you guys.
He's
Oh,
funny
man,
as hell. All right, y'all. Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all, yo. Yes, sir.
Georgie's so amazing. Hold up.
Mama Black. Oh, my
How do you mute
God.
it?
Oh, I'm not. You muted. I'm not taking any interview serious. Oh, I'm not answering basketball question back. Sun is shining. Oh, we still on it? That was a good job.
Yes, well, they're not. They're on now. That was an amazing piece of interview.
Is that all for players?
That's all for players. Yes. Yeah. Well,
It was something. I don't know what it was, but it was something.
Amazing.
we'll start with Jeremy, and then Robert, and then Brandon with Coach, who'll be joining us next. Coach, you need to unmute. Congratulations. We love the bling that you're wearing. Looks great on you. Why don't we go ahead and, as tradition, start off with an amazing opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, I love the start. I think we'll start there. If we hadn't fouled them, I thought our defense was as locked in as we could be, and made them take some really tough shots. I think they ended the half 7 of 7, and did what Ohio State does. That's a good basketball team. Congratulations to Chris. They're a great team, deserving of their top 10 ranking. They're a handful to guard, and they make shots at a high clip, and they did that tonight. And it took 6 guys in double figures and a couple of really good plays down the stretch to get a win. But elite college basketball game, just an elite college basketball game. Both teams played hard. Both teams were amped and geared up for championship game. And I think everybody in the witnessed that, and everybody in the Big Ten, and everybody should be ecstatic with the way the Final Four games went in this and today's championship game. So big hats off to our bench. Our bench was huge. I thought they were the difference in today's game. And we'll 6 guys in double figures. We'll take that every single night. But Curbelo, big down the stretch. DeMonte Williams, huge down the stretch. And really pleased with the overall effort of our team tonight.
Okay, we'll start with Jeremy Werner, Robert Rosenthal on deck, Brandon Simberg in the hole. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Brad, there's this kind of dynamic moment where you guys are cutting down a net and getting, Big Ten champions awarded to you, but also, you're a 1 seed and you get to see your draw live. What was that like to experience all of that in just such a short amount of time?
Well, I've said that one of the greatest thrills about the NCAA tournament, and I mean this, and you can call me old school if you like in this capacity. There's nothing better than hearing your name come across and be seen on the screen when it's called for the NCAA tournament. There's 353 Division I schools, 68 get in, and this group has deserved that. They've got 19 wins against Big Ten opponents this year. I think we've got more quad 1 wins than most teams have played, quad 1 games. So it's awesome. It's just one of those moments, and to see it up there, especially after such a hard fought game, was a pretty special moment.
What is going through your head? Are you reflecting on what it took to get here, to get that net around your neck?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You think I've forgotten the Eastern Illinois exhibition game? I mean, and then to sit there and be on the, be standing on a ladder in the best league in Big Ten champions in terms in the best league in the history of college basketball. Man, I mean, you take all of that in, and it's a brief moment, and then we'll enjoy it tonight, and then we'll start. I don't even know our bracket. I know Drexel the first game, but I'll look at that beyond that. But what a great moment. What a great feeling.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, Robert, you're up. Brandon Simberg on deck.
Coach, since you mentioned Eastern Illinois, I remember after that game you talked about why you started DeMonte and how he did little things and that you wanted him to be more aggressive. And you've talked about that for 4 years. So today, 30 seconds left in regulation, he's aggressive and puts the team up 3. Tell me about that moment.
I mean, again, he's a really good player. He's has gained so much in confidence. He got it really going. I think he showed why he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the country in the first half. But again, if teams are going to not guard him, good luck. And he made him pay today, and he has stepped up in the last month in clutch times more than once, and I think that speaks volumes to the type of young man DeMonte is.
And then you mentioned the 6 guys in double figures, very balanced, 16, 16, 16, 14, 13, 10. What does that mean? What does that say about this team?
Hope it means we got a lot of good players, and you got to pick your poison. I thought they did a great job on IO tonight. Really loading up after the last game. It doesn't shock me that they weren't going to let IO try to beat him. Kofi did a tremendous job defensively on EJ, and yet got a little bit of foul trouble, and then it was Georgie, and it was the Georgie breakout party, and man, was he good. So 6 guys, we've got a lot of good weapons, and that excites me heading into next week.
Thanks.
Hey, Brandon Simberg, followed by Scott Ritchie. Go ahead.
Brad, what'd you see from Dwayne Washington today? Why was he so tough to stop?
He's really, really good. In my opinion, he's the best guard in this league at shooting off the bounce behind threes. And he's a good athlete. You pick your poison with them a little bit, and he did a great job today of finishing downhill. But he's got an unbelievably quick release, and if you're just a little bit late, he's going to make it. And he's done that all year, and in a championship game, I wouldn't expect him to be anything but what he was, which was terrific.
Yeah, Scott Ritchie, and then Marley. Go ahead, Scott.
Brad, Trent was the first player to climb up on the ladder and get a piece of the net. Did he just beat everybody up there, or was that orchestrated to get him up there first?
I think he wanted to be. He deserved to be. He's the young man that was sitting on the bench at the end of the Eastern Illinois game, wondering if he could play at this level. And that's a pretty dramatic turnaround in a young man's career, and he deserved that.
And you said, your staff, puts together folders on everybody. Did they already have Drexel ready for you?
Yeah, it's back at the hotel. I haven't got it yet, but it's ready. We had a pretty good idea of possible draws. So we'll, guys, I haven't thought 2 seconds about the tournament. So if anybody's going to ask me any other questions, we play Drexel. That's all I know, and I'm gonna enjoy the moment tonight.
Okay, Marley, and then Rob McCauley, and then Mark Pearson. Go ahead, Marley.
Coach, you guys have dealt with so much this season beyond what, a typical college basketball season would be, as far as COVID and getting up early and testing and just dealing with all the postponements. And in a moment like this, does it make it all worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and what people don't realize how much, how many people it takes for us to pull this off. And we're just getting to the last chapter. So it was 8 nurses every morning seeing us. It was, Paul Schmidt, our trainer, there every morning, before we were putting labels on the tubes we spit in. And you can go never ending with all this, let alone what the athletes and the coaches do. And so it's kudos to a lot of people. And it took a lot to get to this point, and I'm ecstatic. We're sitting here with a championship and headed into NCAA tournament, which is the last chapter, which we've all been working towards getting to.
And anything you can tell us about maybe the celebration plans tonight?
Yeah, there are none. I mean, we go into testing and we go into quarantine. So yeah, it's not like there's we're stuck, and by NCAA standards, we're stuck into a 24-hour quarantine. So it might be a steak ordered in with some shrimp cocktail from a certain restaurant, and it may be more than one shrimp cocktail, and there might be a really, really good glass of red wine somewhere in my plans this evening.
All right, thanks, Coach. Enjoy the shrimp and the wine.
Good thing you're in quarantine, or there'd be a few of us coming over, Coach. Rob McCauley, Mark Pearson, Brad Sturdy. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, Brad. If you missed it, the party is going to be at apartment 402 sometime in April. You talked to us about Dwayne Washington all year, and so we know how you felt about him long before today. Did you get a chance to tell him how you felt about him today?
No, I didn't. After the game, that's one of the toughest things is, one team loses and they're dejected, and he's an underclassman, unfortunately. But I'll make sure and I reach out to Chris, and I got a chance to talk to Luca yesterday, and I'm just ecstatic that I can root for him now and not have to compete against him twice in the last 10 days is a bunch.
And in all of this season, now that maybe the Big Ten is behind you, is today's game or Dwayne Washington's performance, you think, the best that you saw this year?
I think they're good. I think we've seen some, we've had some moments where teams have gotten going. I go back to, EJ in the first game. They're just, he scored 2 in that game, I think, or 4. It was pretty nondescript, but you got to pick your poison against them. They've got a lot of weapons, and they're a team that can make a deep run because of all those weapons.
Thanks, Brad. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mark Pearson, Brad Sturdy on deck. Go ahead, Mark.
Brad, how hard is it to win 3 straight games against 3 really, really good Big Ten teams, especially with conditioning and then what you guys have gone through this season?
It's not easy. That's probably the one thing that I'm the most pleased with. You've got 2 top 10 teams yesterday. You've got a Rutgers team who had beaten us and is another NCAA tournament team. You just line them up in this league, and everybody's very good. And it's not easy. There's no question that the physical is part of it. Adam Fletcher does a great job. Our guys are in great shape. You tried to monitor minutes. We had a little lopsided game on the first night, so we kept Kofi's minutes down. But there's no doubt. I think Io was a little bit gassed tonight, just having to guard like he's had to the last two nights, and then perform at the other end. So, my hats off to that locker room. Those guys were great.
Thanks, Brad. Enjoy it.
Brad Sturdy, followed by Joey Wagner.
Coach Io gets a lot of publicity for his scoring, passing, etc. But last night he goes on Wieskamp and shuts him down in the second half. And tonight he switches on to Washington and uses his length on him. Can you talk about his defense and how that contributed even on an off night offensively?
Yeah, he came into college with a reputation as a defender, and that's something that, because of all of his theatrics and heroics and everything else on the offensive end, sometimes gets lost. But both he and Trent and Adams turned into a great one. Cabello is growing and made huge plays as well. But that gets lost because of all the other end. But Io's a terrific defender.
All right, we'll go ahead, Joey, and then Derek Piper on deck. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Brad, I don't know how much of the Georgie Kofi comedy special you saw before you got to the Zoom here, but those two clearly have quite a bit of fun with each other. And Kofi was up when Georgie had his big stretch there. How do those two pull the best out of each other? I mean, it sounds like they spend quite a bit of time together.
Yeah, they go against each other almost every day in practice. And I think there's a mutual respect for him. Georgie took Kofi under his wing day one when he got to campus. And most guys that you're competing against for minutes and playing time, you don't do that, and you don't want to be a part of that. And Georgie's embraced him and knows how good he is. And so that's, I'm glad I missed it, but it sounds like, somebody gave out an address that there's going to be a heck of a party at some point, but they're really close, and that's pretty neat. That goes without saying on our team.
And then you guys had Georgie's stretch. Trent had 5 straight. DeMonte played well throughout. I mean, this is veterans who have really built this thing, from the ground along with you, making plays. What's that say about those guys, and how big were those contributions?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they're involved and still here and part of it. I mean, it's our culture, and those guys have worked. Those guys have earned the right to be able to make those plays because of how hard they work and what they've been through and the experience. And they kept saying in timeouts, nobody practices harder than us. This is what we're made for. This is what we do. And that's the truth. And, now they've been around long enough to believe it and know that. So, again, that's one of the advantages of being old or getting old.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, Derek Piper, then Jim Matson. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Coach, you came here as a winner. You had 4 years as a head coach, 4 NCAA tournaments. The winning percentage was as good as anybody that started out. To go through the low points of a rebuild, what was key for you, or what comes to your mind as far as you personally to go from that point to this point now where the necks or the net is around your neck?
Having a great AD. Because see, what you guys got to understand is there's a lot of growing pains that go on in that process. And if you don't have somebody that allows you to grow so you can build your culture and get it right, it doesn't happen without that. I mean, we all live in a world of instant gratification and the microwave, and Josh was more than patient with all of us, and I got a great staff. It takes everybody, but here we are, and year 4, and I didn't know what, I don't know what the timetable is on the process, but I remember the Eastern game very well, and there were changes that had to be made, and you've got an athletic director that supports you and helps you. That's how that happens.
How much will that moment on the ladder be a motivator to get back and do it again next month?
It'll be part of it. There's no doubt. I mean, that's an unbelievable feeling. And I didn't think about that moment being up there in a month or trying to be. I thought about the Eastern Illinois game, and this is what that was a moment I was reflecting.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, Jim Matson, then we're going to go to Puerto Rico before back to the Quad Cities. Go ahead, Jim Matson.
Hey, Brad, after I know you said you didn't look at the bracket, but after 23 straight games in the meat grinder of the Big Ten, how nice will it be not to play well-scouted Big Ten teams going forward for a while anyway?
I don't know. I haven't looked at Drexel yet, so it's you're good. And when you get to the NCAA tournament, they're all good, and you've got to prepare. It's different because so many tendencies of these teams and what they like to do, and it's just a matter of executing. And then so often it's about players making plays, and sometimes the players are just that good, they make plays, and no matter how well you guard them. But it'll be nice to look at somebody new. That's why I enjoy watching all the other games, and when I got a spare moment and not watch Big Ten games, because I enjoy watching other people play.
And do you have a message for Illinois fans while you're having your wine and shrimp cocktail? A bunch of them were at the game today, but a bunch of them are celebrating throughout the state. You kind of talked about getting the program back where it belongs. What's kind of your message to Illini Nation?
Thank you, first of all, for everybody who was here. That was an incredible atmosphere today. In a pandemic environment, that was unbelievable, and there was so much orange there, and we felt that. And for all the, especially the former players, my heart goes out because it's been tough for them, the last few years, and I'm glad we're back where they can pop their jersey and wear that with pride. And I've said it many times, Jim, we got the best fans in the country. And I wish everybody would have been able to see all of our games this year, but they couldn't. But I hope they're really proud of this group, and we're excited to make them happy and bring a championship back to Champaign.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll go to Puerto Rico and then back to the Quad Cities with Corey. Go ahead.
Coach Fidel Padilla, congratulations for just such a great win.
Thank you.
Playing the point guard position, it must be one of the most difficult positions ever. And playing a Big Ten, I can't even imagine. Can you take me to the process of maturity and resiliency that Curbelo has shown in this past game, especially in the clutch, taking over and having such an unbelievable performance? Can you take me to the process from day one all the way to now?
Well, the one thing about day one is Dre has never feared the moment. I mean, his for lack of a better term, I use the it. He's got it. He's got an alpha mentality. He's got a confidence, a swagger. For him, I think it was more just learning the scouting piece. It was playing against size. It was seeing the different coverages. In high school, a lot of times the game is so open, and he was just so good that he could go make plays, and he can still do that. But, now it was creating the environment. I think it took him a little bit to adjust to that. And then defensively, just being dialed in at that end. But he's matured. He's fearless. He's going to be one of the best players in college basketball. He is right now, but he's going to be one of the best next year, and if not the best, in my opinion. So, very talented. And he's got a wonderful personality and charisma that allows him to be great.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Corey in the Quad Cities, then Matt Stevens and Charles Culpepper. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Brad, can you kind of talk about last season? You guys were on the cusp of breaking that drought of the NCAA tournament before everything gets shut down. You go through off season where you don't know if Io and Kofi are coming back. They do. And now you've earned a 1 seed this year. So what does that mean to get the 1 seed and do the things you've been able to accomplish this year?
It's gratifying. There's no doubt it's gratifying. I think that we felt like we were a team that could make a run last year. I think that all of the unknown that came with COVID has just made it more gratifying. I think it's helped embrace that, and it's helped me grow as a coach. I think it's helped our connectivity, our togetherness of our team, And you don't do that if you don't have good people as players, and we've got that. So yeah, I'm excited because last year is, this is just as much a part of for Kipper Nichols, Andres Felice, those guys who didn't get to experience that. To get back here for those guys is really important as well.
Okay, Matt Stevens, Charles Culpepper. Go ahead, Matt.
Brad, 41 points off the bench today, and that's Georgie, DeMonte, and Andre. What do you feel like has led throughout this 29-game process to have guys accept roles and come off the bench like they do? Because, as you know, Georgie started games before Kofi got here. DeMonte started games in his career, and Andre thinks, I'm a top 50 kid. I'm going to immediately go in and start games. What has led to that kind of, a culture that these guys are cool with their role and cool with what they have to do off the bench for you?
Well, you guys know me well enough that I really don't get overly concerned with who starts. It's a matter of putting the jigsaw puzzle together and finding it so that you have nights like this where you get that kind of productivity. And no matter what's needed, it could be a defensive stop. It could be, you just can't go flat in my opinion, when you go to your bench, and you've got to be 8, 9, 10 deep. I mean, we're going to need Coleman Hawkins, in the NCAA tournament. And I feel great about Coleman's progress, and he's played a bunch, just a little different with matchups and so on in this tournament. But I work hard at that, and our guys buy into that. They understand that. They've accepted that, and know that you can come in and hit game winners like they did and impact the game. And starting's just people clapping for you when they call your name to run out to the court. That's about all it means.
Then how competitive are your practices then?
Great.
It would seem like the second team thinks they can walk out and beat the first team on certain days.
There's a lot of days they do. And it's fun. It's what makes us good is that competition and practice.
Okay, Charles Culpepper, you're up. Gavin Good on deck, and then we'll finish up with John Supini to this amazing press conference. Go ahead,
Coach.
Charles.
When you watch your team play, and when you watch it celebrate the locked arms near the end and everything today, there seems to be a level of togetherness, connectivity, as you say, that would be considered really, really high, even among teams that win championships. Is that right? If so, how hard is that to attain? And do you think, and what's that like?
Yeah, it's really hard to obtain. And I've been fortunate to be around some really good teams and connected teams. What you have to have is guys genuinely like each other. They don't have to be best friends, but they've got to really like each other. They've got to care about, a guy like Georgie who has not been home. I mean, you guys think about that. Georgie hadn't been home. Ben has not been home because of COVID. You got to like those guys, to be around them as much as you are, and not have little petty things. And this group embraces each other, and so it's really refreshing to see, and I enjoy that a lot.
Georgie may not have been home, but he invited all of us to his U.S. home here in April. Gavin Good, you're up, and then we'll finish up with John Supini.
Brad, it took you about 26 years to get into the D1 coaching ranks. In that time, did you ever think you would get to a point like this?
Yeah, I mean, I had a saying when I was at SFA, dream big, and then I just rephrased it and said dream bigger. Well, I've always been that guy, and yet I've never been consumed with becoming a head coach in a bad situation, I've worked with great people that help prepare me, and they all deserve a big hand. But absolutely, I've never feared or thought about not being here. I've just dreamt it. I've had good fortune. I've been very blessed. Good Lord's looked out after me, and here I sat. And I got a great wife, and that's the most disappointing thing is I can't celebrate with my wife and kids tonight. But yeah, I mean, has it been easy? No, but I've never doubted or stopped dreaming.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, we'll finish up with John Supini. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Coach, in 05, Illini fans overwhelmed the NCAA tournament with, with crowds. If they could do this over in Indy, if you could get a big crowd behind you, how could they impact your run?
A lot. You guys have got to see how the fans, how our guys play to those fans, how much fun they had with those fans. And, it's one of the advantages of being a 1 seed. We're close. And, there's no doubt, it does it ultimately determine the game? No, we got to go do our part, but it is really cool to see all that orange and getting on the bus and see all the attention in the crowds. Was fabulous. And there's no doubt it's impactful.
All right, thank you, Coach. That'll wrap up an amazing evening, and hope your shrimp cocktail is amazing as well. So appreciate everybody joining us today. Thank you, Coach. We'll talk to you soon about the NCAA tournament.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.